As we discussed days ago on August 29th, Ethereum was forming a very bullish ascending triangle pattern. And with Ethereum absolutely thrusting and busting to new local highs, will Bitcoin be saved from further dumpage? And with the DXY plunging below the 21 and now the 50 DMA as well, it's time to make a mess. I'm your host, Johnson Jingle Bust, and it looks as though Mommy Ethereum truly is diddling the crypto market to new all-time highs right now. So we're going to be jumping into Ethereum, Bitcoin, and what the rest of this market is doing, because it seems as though the interest in DeFi, the interest in the NFT markets, is what is keeping the crypto space extremely interesting over the past few weeks, and as well potentially lifting Bitcoin up after a very, very critical test happening right now with Bitcoin at an absolutely insanely important moving average as it's currently below the 21 day. Let's see you the channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications to these absolutely time sensitive alerts. Make sure we have less than 2 weeks for the ADA competition here. And without any further ado, let's dump on in. Whoa, so I want to start off here, guys, and that is basically surging demand for NFTs and DeFi apps. So, I mean, this is nothing new. I mean, it is over the last few months fairly new, but if you watch these videos day after day, and if you watch and just follow crypto day after day, it's very clear NFTs are insanely popular. DeFi has been popular for over a year now, and the real use cases of these platforms, cryptocurrencies that have smart contracts, or whether it's Ethereum, Solana, obviously ADA is going to be announcing in less than 2 weeks, or sorry, releasing their smart contracts as well. The interest in smart contracts and being able to do more with cryptocurrencies should come as no surprise as something that people get excited about and want. It makes Bitcoin maximalists angry when I say this, but it's also just common sense. I think the utility, the use case for some of these other platforms that are not Bitcoin, at this moment, we do not know the scope of how big it can be. So to outright dismiss it, it's really just, I think, the silliest thing you can do. I think there's like no brain power going on behind the ideas of thinking there can only be one cryptocurrency and literally nothing else has value. I personally think that's a very low IQ way of looking at innovation in general. Wow, the innovation at play in the smart contract arena has been defeating maximalist mantras for quite some time, says Matty Greenspan. Still, because a lot of the advancements, particularly in DeFi and NFTs, are so new, it's difficult to say exactly how much more growth there will be or what other new sectors might arise. And that's the big thing, right? Whether you're watching these videos, whether you're trying to predict price, the best thing I think about cryptocurrency is no matter how much you think you know, at the end of the day, there's not a single person on the planet that can tell you exactly how big this space could get, exactly how influential and how deep-rooted cryptocurrency will be 10, 20, 30 years from now. Nobody knows, and it could be much greater than people expect. Could it be less? Yeah, absolutely. But it could also be much greater. And as well, to look at these new technologies and outright say, well, I don't really understand it, I don't really see the need, I'm going to dismiss it and just pretend it doesn't exist and just stick to what I think should be the only thing, which is Bitcoin. Again, I think that's a very dangerous, silly way of looking at innovation, especially something as complex as technology, okay? At the end of the day, cryptocurrency is a technology. And to look at a technology and say, this is what it will be, and this is the only thing it will ever do, and it will never branch out and do other things, just blows my mind. That's the like antithesis of technology. Technology is always going to grow. It's always going to branch out. It's always going to find new use cases and new things that it can do, and then do them better and better and better and better. It just blows my mind a little bit that people can look at this technology and say, no, none of this can happen. It has to be Bitcoin only. Well, at this point, you've been proven wrong. And I think as we go through year after year, I think that's going to continue to be the case. Technology is not going to stop growing. The only thing technology does is continue to grow as long as the earth doesn't explode. Oh, and as we talked about in my video August 29th, so 3 or 4 days ago here, we were talking about this Ethereum ascending triangle. And yeah, we said within the next week, and actually what we said in that video was the very beginning of September, so the first week of September, and it absolutely did not waste any time. In fact, literally the first day of September, this bad boy absolutely popped out. What is this up already? Just already breaking out of this. I mean, since the video was made, it's up about 20%. But yeah, Ethereum breaking out very nicely here after holding the 21 day. That was so key. It was a very clear ascending triangle structure with a very clear horizontal resistance here. And with that being said, Bitcoin is not in a great position. However, because of Ethereum having a nice pump, Bitcoin obviously is reacting as well, because if we look at Bitcoin's technicals, it is not in a great position. We're now below this like month-long ascending channel. We were below the 21-day moving average literally just about an hour ago, and we were getting close to that 200-day. So ultimately, this is too early to say for sure that Bitcoin is only going to go up from here, okay? But Ethereum, at least for now, has delayed that. And yeah, just very good for the market. Ultimately, what I want to see over the next, let's say, a couple of years is exactly this: altcoins having more and more of an impact on the market. And there's even a chart for this. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Look at Bitcoin dominance right now. I mean, this is Bitcoin. This is back at the kind of like the last couple of months of 2017, and you see this absolutely insane dip, which so far still remains the lowest Bitcoin dominance has ever been, about 35%, which was January of 2018 at the end of that bull cycle. Bitcoin topped out in December of 2017, and then altcoins ran for an entire month afterwards into like the end of January, and that is where we saw Bitcoin dominance completely collapse. And as I've been saying, I think we are similar in a situation like this, where I still think there's a few months left of this bull run, and I personally think there's a lot of Bitcoin dominance that we are going to see shed, even if it is temporary, because again, if we do enter a bear market, Bitcoin dominance will increase again, just like we saw back here. But I personally think that we're in a similar situation to this. Obviously, there's more interest in altcoins than ever before. There's more interest in smart contracts and coins that have that capability than ever before. And back here, guess what there was not? There was not really DeFi. There was no NFTs. None of that, right? That didn't exist. Now this exists. So looking at this and thinking, even if for a brief moment, maybe just a month in the short term before maybe continuing over the next decade, we see Bitcoin dominance take another big tumble like we saw here. Not only do I think that's likely, I think that is much more likely than it's not likely. And with that being said, as we talked about, Bitcoin is in a interesting spot, but again, it makes more sense at this very second, at least maybe only for today, but looking at Ethereum to see, what it can do and if it can help bring Bitcoin back. With that being said, Bitcoin on the 6-hour chart is actually within still a symmetrical triangle we've been talking about for about a week. It's a little over a week long, and this could also, give Bitcoin some juice to actually break 50K and try to hold above that, because we failed over and over. We're still watching this speculative pattern, but look exactly where we're seeing that support. This exact level of support we've been talking about for months, these 5 specific levels for months. And yeah, so it's no shock that we're holding here. It's very important that we do. But as well, it's obvious that Bitcoin is just within a consolidatory period right now. So we could see this move up here. But I think it's also important we be careful. If we look on this weekly chart, what could be playing out over the next week is just continued dumpage. Again, I personally think that the only reason Bitcoin is having this move right now to the upside is strictly because of Ethereum, and strictly not really Bitcoin related at all. Ethereum just had a massive breakout, and it's actually bringing some of the other alts into just green territory as well. But yeah, Bitcoin on its own right now, we have to see, because if Ethereum, hit its breakout target, if it then does retrace or enter a more neutral position, then it's Bitcoin's choice to really decide which way the market can move. And it's obvious what Bitcoin wants to do right now. Bitcoin is in more of a dumpy territory right now, and more of a dumpy short-term trend. Well, so if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications to these absolute time-sensitive alerts. Make sure to check out my website pinned and at the top of the description below for some very nice deals, bonuses, APY. Make sure you have less than 2 weeks to enter for our ADA competition. We do have some big news with a countdown right here. As you can see, the highest points to enter, you can see right here. So that's pretty big. But yeah, without any further ado, that's for me. Bye-bye.